Out there in the countryside of England, there's a vacation house. It's a perfect place to relax, enjoy nature, have some downtime with your family, talk, and that's what Angela and Richard are hoping for. It's been years since these two siblings really talked with each other, and they, their spouses, kids, are booked for 1 week in that house with nothing to do except be around each other and realize that there's more than one way to see the world and even the same childhood memories. Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review, and this time I'll review The Red House by Mark Haddon, a book I found secondhand, and I wanted to read it because I had an interesting track record with the author. His most famous work is The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime, which I found very overrated. But his book A Spot of Bother is a wonderful dark comedy, which I highly recommend. But then I read The Purpose, which was bad, weird, boring, overall one big WTF moment for me. So I felt I had a 50-50 chance with this one. So, The Red House takes place over a week in a remote countryside vacation home where siblings Richard and Angela decide to go after their mother dies, and each bring their own spouse, kids, and emotional baggage, and they spend a week together being forced to acknowledge things they didn't want to and face issues they tried to hide. Which sounds really nice. Unfortunately, this book was terrible. I hated every single moment, and the only reason I actually continued to read it was because I wanted to do a video out of it, and I'm on a schedule here. The book does get slightly better with time, from completely unintelligible to just not very good in the last quarter, but it's like giving an aspirin to a terminally ill patient. Maybe it will reduce the fear a little bit, but he's still not doing good. So because I have literally nothing positive to say about this book, let's talk negatives, and basically they can be divided into two issues: characters and writing. Let's begin with the characters. They are all assholes. Don't get me wrong, unlikable characters are great. They can be really interesting, and one always loves a good villain. But I feel the aim here was to portray raw, unapologetic, flawed, yet realistic characters. But not only are the characters completely not relatable, it creates the problem of not having anyone to root for. Also, there is being relatable by showing normal flaws like the realization that you hate your spouse. And then there's thinking, I wish this teenager was murdered because that would be more convenient. Needless to say, I hated every single character, and I was thankful I don't associate with people like that in real life. And I don't know if this belongs here or to the writing style section, but the entire point of the book was to put people in one spot and force them to face certain issues. And he fails here. I mean, yes, the characters do have their arcs and reach good conclusions, but the way to get there is pretty much non-existent. A regular argument will be solved after 2 seconds, with one of them realizing something deep and psychological about themselves. Convictions people had for years will be completely changed after a simple conversation. I wish therapy was that easy. And the reactions were weird too. They will be completely nonchalant with some huge news, but then a person will simply disagree with another person and everyone will treat it like he just insulted their dear dead mother. God, are these people alien? Is Mark Haddon alien? But now there's the writing, which is a mess. Similarly to the characters, I feel Haddon was going for uncensored, flawed but realistic, but he ended up writing something so messy and unintelligible, half of it I did not even understand. I would read a sentence or a paragraph and it was a jumble of nonsense in a quasi-stream of consciousness writing that was such a chore to read and rarely made sense. I remember one paragraph as an example where someone is cooking and he mentioned Gordon Ramsay, and the next sentence is a quote of something Ramsay would say. And I got it because I know who Gordon Ramsay is, I know he's a chef, so the context of cooking is relevant, and I know how he talks, so I recognize that this sentence is actually a quote, and the character who was cooking was imagining what Gordon Ramsay would say were he there. But had I not known who Gordon Ramsay is, this paragraph paragraph would have been so strange. And then I realized that I probably read a lot of nonsense and there were actually references I didn't get. And I know my pop culture, okay? But you will have sentences like, and Lizzie on a swing. Who is Lizzie? Is it another character? Is it a reference to a movie or to a celebrity? You wouldn't be able to understand from the way it's written. Also, speaking of quotes, he doesn't use quotation marks. No, those are for mainstream authors. Mark Haddon uses italics to show when someone speaks. Guess how long it took me to realize that that's what's going on and they actually speak and the italics doesn't reflect people's thoughts. And you would use those in the middle of a paragraph sometimes instead of a new line, for good measures, you know. And add that to the fact that the perspectives keep changing, sometimes in the middle of a paragraph again, and good luck understanding anything. Okay guys, you got the idea. This book was beyond awful. It wasn't insightful, it wasn't funny, it wasn't interesting, it wasn't even readable half of the time. The idea was really great, and there is a way to execute it. There's a way to write about a dysfunctional family that come together, and despite everyone being in their own little hell, they realize that they are indeed not alone and that they love each other, and the communication about those issues is the way to deal with them. And the most ironic thing is that Mark Haddon already wrote a book like that. A Spot of Bother is that book, and it's really great. It's funny, but in a very dark British way. It has imperfect, sometimes infuriating characters that feel real and have some redeeming qualities. And it's all the things that this book isn't. What's going on? So with that, I will finish this review. Guys, thanks for bearing with me. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more book reviews. Also, don't read The Red House, read A Spot of Bother instead. But let me know in the comment section if you ever read anything by Mark Haddon and what you thought about it. I will listen, but that was the last book by him that I will ever read. So guys, again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.